Hello and welcome back to Botches Battles once more. If you come in from the last episode, then good. If not, go back and watch the old episodes, because otherwise you'll not understand my thought process. So, I've just given it a custom EV spread here. So you've got the max HP because it's a wall. I tend to like running max HP on a wall, just because it allows you to take more hits, obviously, and then max in the stat that they want you to wall them in. So, for example, Jellicent, you want max special defense because especially defensible, max defense, physically defensible, makes sense. Right, and then the leftover 4 I'm going to put in special defense just so it's not completely crippled by fire. Well, it will be crippled. And we've got the plus defense minus speed nature. Why, you say? As much defense as possible, as little speed as possible. So you've got to really start thinking. Right, now, however, that adds another 4 times weakness to the table, being fire. Obviously, you've got Jellicent to take the water hits, but we might want a Pokemon with Flash Fire to take advantage of this. So we've now got a physical lead, a special lead, a physical wall, a special wall. Now we want a physical sweeper and a special sweeper. That's my typical team layout. So we want a fire type with Flash Fire. I could think of a perfect contender, but I'm going to see if there's any better ones. It appears not. So, that gives me a great idea then. I've forgotten what tier it is. Oh yeah, it's UU. Lol. Derp. Okay, we're going to use a Chandelure. It's not OU, but you can use any Pokemon from a lower tier in a higher tier. So obviously we're going to have the Flash Fire. Flame Body would be alright, but remember we have Jellicent. It's going to be getting burns everywhere anyway. And Shadow Tag's not released and will most likely be banned because it prevents people from switching out. Flash Fire. Do 1.5 times damage hit by one fire move. Well, since Jellicent's got 4 times weakness to fire, a derpy player or a player that's locked into the move might have to go for that fire move and we can take advantage of that with Flash Fire. However, this team is still quite slow in general. Jolteon's extremely fast, as you can see, but Landorus Therian is fairly speedy, but needs that rock polish to actually start outspeeding things. Jellicent and Ferrothorn don't need speed, but they can still be outsped. That is why I'd recommend, if your team is really slow, to have at least one Choice Scarf or Priority user. So, we're going to have the Choice Scarf on this Chandelure with max speed plus speed nature, just because we want something as fast as physically possible. Now, obviously, remember, if you're in a choice item, you do not want to carry moves like Calm Mind or status moves. Generally, I don't recommend it, even if it's on a Smogon set, because you do not want to be locked into a status move, trust me. So, therefore, we're going to have 4 attacks. So, Overheat or Fire Blast. I'd say Overheat. Why? Well, you've got to consider the things. Fire Blast, 10% chance to burn. 10% never happens, honestly, and you've got loads of burn. You've got loads of burningness going on over there. Then we've also got only 85% accuracy compared to Overheat, which has 90% accuracy and 20% more power. But it does have a -2 special attack. But look at that special attack stat. We're not going to be caring. We're going to try and hit for as much damage as possible on all those grass types. Because then this means that we now have an FGW core in there as well. So it should be a really strong team. Because FGW is fire, grass, water. They cover their weaknesses very well. Obviously, fire being weak to water, resisted by grass. Weak to ground, resisted by grass. Water is weak to grass, resisted by grass. And electric, resisted by grass. And grass is being weak to fire, resisted by fire and water. And ground, resisted by... Wait, what am I talking about? And ice, resisted by fire and water. So they have very good synergy. So you can have an offensive or a defensive team. I recommend the FGW being slightly more defensive. And that's one of my favourite cores. It's very, very good. So Overheat hits those things with stab attacks. Basically, how you'd use this team, the FGW core, you'd have, say, for example, as I said earlier, your Landorus Therians against them with an ice move, or most likely has an ice move, so you switch to special defensive Jellicent, take the hit. And you know that they, say, for example, also have a Jolteon, or something that's going to easily destroy that Jellicent. So they're going to switch out into that. You predict them to switch out into that. So they're going to switch out into a grass type. So, say say if they really need to get rid of that Jellicent, they have nothing to hit you with, they're locked into that ice move, or they're just generally, they're in a bad position anyway, they're going to switch out to a Grass type and Electric type. At this point, if you know they're going to switch out, switch into the Ferrothorn to resist that hit, then force them to switch again, allowing you free moves. That is a very good prediction, as well as being really useful to your FGW core you've got going on here. Now, of course, we're also going to have Shadow Ball on Chandelure. I'll explain why. Overheat's resisted by fire and water. Shadow Ball's neutral against those. And also it's a secondary stab. If your Pokemon has more than one type, obviously Ferrothorn has fire, ghost type, and it's a sweeper, you're going to be wanting to carry coverage moves from both types, usually. Landorus Therian doesn't have a really good flying move, so therefore I'm not giving it a flying move, because Edgequake's more useful. So you've got to check obviously their move pool, because Shadow Ball's a pretty powerful move as well, having 80 base power, sorry. So obviously then we've got dual stabs, because stab or same type attack bonus gives 50% boost if it's the same type. So you want to take advantage of that as much as possible. Now we're also going to want the Energy Ball. Why? If for whatever reason my Jellicent is down and my Ferrothorn's down, and my Chandelure has to fight against a water type, which I know is going to switch in, I can go for that safe Energy Ball, hit it with a super effective hit on the switch in, not a problem. Same with ground types as well. So we've already got a stab move, a secondary stab move. Yes, we've got a stab move that's most powerful, secondary stab move that's slightly less powerful but could also be useful. We've got a coverage move, and then we're going to have the trick here. Now, you aren't saying, well, that's a status move. Yes, but it switches its held on with the targets. Since your choice is Scarfed, you're going to be faster than most things on the field. That means if your choice is Scarfed with trick, it's a pretty recommended idea, because it allows you to outspeed your opponent anyway, and then trick them, your item, so swap their item. They can attack you if you know they're not going to pose a massive threat to you, or even if they are. You can trick them a Choice Scarf. Say you trick a Choice Scarf to a wall, you've gained Leftovers out of it, which is still a good item, and they've gained a Choice Scarf, which means they're going to be a lot more impaired. So it's quite a useful sort of idea. Okay, so last Pokemon, want a Physical Sweeper. So this team looks pretty darn tough. Okay, for the Physical Sweeper, I recommend a Flying type, probably. Maybe, I don't know. Just trying to think of what I can use. Actually, no. No, I've got it. Can use another UU Pokemon. Because you want something that's a Physical Sweeper. Still got base 95. And can take hits preferably. And can also it also has a priority move. I like carrying at least one priority move on the team. And a reliable move ball, and also it does have a weakness to flying, but we have one Pokemon to take that, and one Pokemon that's going to take neutrality and is physically defensive, and has an ability that's going to deal damage back at the opponent. So we're going to be running this as obviously as a sweeper. We don't want another choice user. Never have more than 2 choice users on a team. And also don't recommend having more than 2 of any particular choice item, like 2 choice band users. While that may hit hard, that's going to limit your choices of things. Same with 2 choice Scarf users. That's better, but still you're locked into moves. So I recommend having, say, one's band, one's specs, if you want to hit fast, or Scarf and a speed boosting poke. So we're going to give this one a Life Orb. Boost power by 30%, but loses 10% from recoil. So it's a very good move if you need to switch up moves and don't want to be relying on choice too much. Okay, so we're obviously going to carry the Mach Punch because it usually goes first. It has the +1 priority there. And also Stab, and it's boosted by Life Orb, and Technician. It's boosted moves of 60 or less base power. So it's going to be pretty powerful. Alright, I think I'm going to have to round off this episode. So now we've almost got a completed team. Please join me next episode to have my full complete roundup of how to build a team. Thank you. Botchers Battles out.